Actually, we are very sad that you are leaving.
So all are here? All of our brothers?
Are you ready? Okay.
Is the other vehicle following us? What's the matter? They were ahead of us. I don't know what happened. They were supposed to take a turn. Must be on the toll plaza.
We desire to do a recording.
What is to be done?
Recording regarding Mukti, information on Mukti.
What?
I mean liberation.
To be free of one's imaginary world, to be free from one's mental and intellectual stranglehold is real liberation. Although as such you are free, but because of the mind, intellect, consciousness and your ego, you feel as though you are still bound. Because of the impressions of mind, intellect, consciousness and your ego, you feel bound, and when you rise above them, you become one with the super consciousness. That is the eternal liberation. To experience your purest form, to continually sustain that form, and to be present in that purest form is liberation or mukti. And while maintaining and being in this purest form, one can still be a part of this materialistic world. One can live with his family, his loved ones, and still strive for their well-being. And in the same situations and circumstances, one can help and guide his loved ones to walk on the path towards eternal liberation.
What are the ways to attain liberation, Kaka?
Talking from the scriptures point of view, there is actually no way. Doing nothing is the only way. But as long as you are in the clutches of your mind, intellect and consciousness, you cannot feel and experience your purest consciousness. You cannot be one with the super consciousness. The medium towards that is dhyan, jap, chintan, manan, satsang. Through the use of all these medium, you can find your real self. You acquire real knowledge only after Nadi Shuddhi. To acquire that supreme knowledge, one has to have one's foundations really strong, which is to say, one has to be grounded in one's purest form. This is the way. Although you can say that in this case, the journey and the destination is not much different. It's just a matter of one's personal convictions and beliefs that one adopts a certain way.
But what if you seek refuge in traditional values, Kaka?
In that case, the journey to your destination will be much faster and much easier.
Okay.
Talking about the traditional values, like in the traditions we have a Shaktipat Pranali. With the use of that process, we can really cut short the time which would have otherwise been required to reach your ultimate goal.
Alright. Is Mukti or liberation a milestone prior to Nirvikalp Samadhi, Kaka?
Always remember that liberation or Mukti is freeing yourself from the clutches of mind, intellect, consciousness and ego, which you can continue to feel until Savikalp or Sampurna Samadhi.
Okay.
The real experience of liberation or Mukti is that you are already in the Nirvikalp state. So you are grounded in your purest form. Even when you are in your impersonal Savikalp state, you are still grounded in your purest form. But to enjoy the ecstasy and bliss of your real form, you have to be in the Nirvikalp state.
Alright. Kaka, can't one experience the feelings of Sat Chit Anand without the blessings of one's Guru?
With the divine blessings of the Guru, it becomes really very easy. It's also called Kripa Sadhan.
Okay.
And remember that your Guru is an element and not a person. So that element can guide you at any time and in any form. Sometimes in the form of a divine deity, sometimes in the form of a Siddha or Mahapurush, who can be in his bodily or heavenly form, sometimes in your dreams and sometimes in reality. They shower their blessings on you and can help you achieve your ultimate goal much sooner than it would have really been if they wouldn't have graced you with their blessings.
But the selfless blessings, or ahetu kripa as we say it.
Yeah. The reality is that you are being showered with that ahetu kripa. But we are standing on our own path as an obstacle, so we cannot experience that Guru Kripa.
Whether we stand in our own path as an obstacle or not, isn't this also Guru Kripa, Kaka?
Absolutely. The blessings are being showered in both cases. But because of our resources not being fine-tuned to that level, we cannot really realize it. So until one is not showered with the boundless blessings from one's Guru, like a gush of water which can bring life to what is dead within the seeker, one cannot really feel one's real being.
So the gist of all this, Kaka, is that nothing really happens without Guru Kripa.
Absolutely, everything happens because of Guru Kripa. When a Sharanarthi or a seeker surrenders effortlessly to the Guru, he is showered with Guru Kripa. Look, as much as the intensity of the surrender, so will be the intensity of the Guru Kripa.
So does Guru Kripa lead to surrender, or is it the other way around, Kaka?
Kripa leads to surrender and surrender leads to Kripa.
So what comes first? Kripa must be leading to surrender, Kaka.
Absolutely. When the Kripa happens, only then is the seeker in the state of mind to surrender. And that is when his efforts commence.
Can we call total surrender also as Mukti, Kaka?
Yes, you can certainly say that, because absolute surrender means that you are left with nothing of yourself. Whatever you have is nothing but the divine blessings of your Guru.
Can that be called the real climax, experiencing Satchitanand?
Certainly, you can experience that peak experience because of the Guru Kripa only.
In that we talk about 3 gunas, Kaka.
You see, the Sat Chit Anand Gun is a very complex subject in the Shakta and the Shaivya traditions. In these traditions, coming one-to-one with yourself on different levels, purifying your inner being, and then transforming yourself is all a very subtle phenomenon. Normally we have very few people talking about this topic because not many people understand this.
Talking about Bhagwan Nityanand, whom we also call as Bade Baba, what was the trait that was the strongest in him? Can you throw some light on this, Kaka?
He was always filled with bliss. You can say ultimate bliss.
Okay. Could you name some more saints who were immensely filled with bliss like him?
This fine blend of Chitaunsh and Anandaunsh can be felt strongly in Sai Baba.
Oh, what does Chitansh really mean, Kaka?
Chitaunsh means that the person knows himself as well as the world around. This person is filled with a lot of compassion because the knowing happens from within the heart.
Oh, I see.
Not much from the brain. So such people are filled with boundless compassion. Similarly, Nityanand Baba was also filled with this boundless compassion, because the peak of Anandaunsh means freedom from all sorrows and griefs.
Okay.
And wherever the grief takes over, such enlightened souls make their divine presence felt, and they transform the situation completely from grief to ecstasy.
Is there a class of some saints, Kaka, who display the Satogun very prominently?
When the Sattvagun is prominent and is displayed little intensely, then you can always feel a sense of natural peacefulness or divine serenity. And wherever such divine souls are, you will find that within a 50-kilometer radius of their presence, you will feel an absence of the Tamoguni, Rajoguni, or any sort of violent or negative elements.
So you mean to say, Kaka, that the ultimate goal of any tradition is to experience Mukti, which is liberation, or Satchitanand?
The ultimate goal is not liberation, it is beyond that.
Could you explain?
You can relate liberation to graduation. When you attain a certain degree, that degree is your liberation. But even after that degree, you can go for further education, for some important scientific research. So this enlightenment is like completing your graduation. But beyond that, there is an advanced stage also, in which different aspects are purified and developed for the greater well-being of the world, and such people are called yogis.
Okay.
The seeker who aims to attain Kaivalya is at rest with himself once he attains Kaivalya.
Oh.
This person can't do anything for anyone.
So in Kaivalya seekers, Kaka, are Sat, Chit, Anand, these three gunas very prominent?
No, but they are not developed.
So they remain underdeveloped?
Yes, because their aim is just to attain liberation. Moksha, Kaivalya, Mukti. Beyond that, they don't have anything else to attain.
Alright.
What a yogi does is that he transforms all the negative elements inside him into positive ones. And once they do it, they use these elements and energy to bring about well-being of the humanity on a universal level.
For human welfare?
Yes, you're right.
So this human welfare that you are talking about, Kaka,
Yeah.
does this happen with a selfless motive on the yogi's part?
When a yogi becomes entirely selfless within himself, only then is the welfare of one and all possible. Because wherever a seeker or a Siddha Mahapurush encounters grief or poverty, they try to infuse in joy and prosperity, because the inner self is now totally pure.
Alright.
And because of this pure state of mind, and due to the non-availability of the resources required for expressing it, they try to acquire the resources and move on.
By its very definition, Kaka, the experience of a feeling is subjective. It's not possible to put it into words, isn't it?
Certainly it can't be put into words, because experience is such a state of mind which is beyond words and terminology.
So what about the scriptures, Kaka?
All that is mentioned in the scriptures is an effort by the great saints to put down their experiences in words for the common man to understand. So they use words as well as verse.
So should it be assumed that all that is mentioned in the scriptures, it successfully explains the experiences of the great saints in words?
There are two things. One is a person and one is his picture. The difference between these two is the same as the difference between the written word and the experience.
If we talk about percentage, Kaka, then in common language, what percentage of experience could be put down into words?
At the most 50 to 60%. Not more than that. The actual experience is something much more than that.
Okay. Well, the next question is, what is Vairagya, Kaka?
To be grounded in one's real self, selflessly, is Vairagya.
So what is the difference between Mukti and Vairagya?
Coming out from the shells of ignorance is Mukti.
Okay.
And Vairagya is your very nature.
So knowledge is a relative and ignorance is a non-relative entity, Kaka?
Knowledge appears to be a non-relative entity because of the presence of ignorance. So when ignorance vanishes, even knowledge ceases to exist. Because knowledge exists due to ignorance.
I see.
And when both vanish, you remain in your true self.
What is the difference between the relativity of both, Kaka?
Knowledge exists because of ignorance.
And what if knowledge ceases to exist?
Knowledge will always exist because it is the purest and sacred. It is the very basic form. But still, in Sat Chit Anand, in these three elements lies your purest form. And desire, knowledge and action They are the medium for the expression of this purest form.
All right.
So knowledge is complete in itself.
Okay. If we talk about Mirabai or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Kaka,
Yeah.
do we find a non-relative Sagun Sakarta in these great saints?
No, these saints had the experience of Nirgun Nirakarta as well as Sagun Sakarta. See, Lord Krishna was present in his Sagun Sakar form, but the climax of this was the non-relative Nirgun Nirakar form which was experienced by these devotees. Because Mirabai and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu feel themselves as one with their Lord, with their God.
Okay.
So this experience is possible only in Nirvikalp and not in Savikalp. So it is just like experiencing not only yourself but your God also within your very self. And also,
so what you mean to say is, Kaka, that without bhakti there is no gyan, and without gyan there is no bhakti.
that is absolutely true.
So in non-relativity, Kaka, in Nirpeksh, Nirgun, Nirvikalp Samadhi, would gyan be prominent or bhakti?
As Gyan reaches its peak, the Bhakti rises as well. Bhakti is an emotion.
Okay.
And so is the cosmic existence. One can feel that emotion without knowledge or Gyan. Rather, knowledge or Gyan is what arouses that emotion in you and sustains you in that emotion.
But in this situation as well, one cannot experience this without Guru Kripa.
Yes, you cannot have this level of experience without Guru Kripa.
Alright. If we look at this through the medium of Shat Chakras, Kaka,
Through the medium of Shat Chakra, you can purify your 5 elements, the 5 great elements, which then purifies your very foundation.
so talking from the chakras point of view, at what level will the bhakti arise, Kaka?
As long as one is in Agya Chakra and there is no Guru Kripa, Bhakti cannot arise at all.
So this means that without Guru Kripa, nothing is possible at all.
Yes, but Guru Kripa doesn't necessarily mean that the Guru has to be in his bodily form. Kripa can happen in any way. Love is Kripa, bliss is Kripa.
But one cannot be a part of a tradition without the presence of a Guru in his bodily form.
Not necessarily. At times things happen out of tradition as well. Sometimes an Isht Devta can shower his blessings on you. Sometimes a Siddha Devta can do so. And a Siddha Devta is not a part of any tradition. Their existence is through their own will.
The seekers also follow a tradition. So are they destined to become a part of a certain tradition?
Just like it is destined that in which particular family a child will be born, so will a seeker get a tradition based on the medium that he followed in the past.
You mean in his past life?
In his past life. And he becomes part of the tradition.
Kaka, if Kripa is possible through a Guru who is not present in his bodily form, then how does this happen? I mean, exactly how does this actually happen?
See, if your foundation is ready, that Kripa can come unto you in any form whatsoever. For example, the saints get their Diksha in their dreams, which is considered far superior than the one in reality. At times, a divine soul may appear in front of you, give you Diksha and just disappear, without revealing their name or even identity.
But that Kripa is possible only when one gets rid of his mind, consciousness and ego.
Yes, but when the time is right, this Kripa just happens, and then you slowly and steadily get rid of all these evil entities.
Kaka, what is this Sanjeevani Samadhi?
Sanjeevani Samadhi is the one in which the yogi or the sadhak uplifts his pran and then establishes it in his Sahasra Chakra and attains the Samadhi. Usually in Sanjeevani Samadhi, depending on how authoritative the person is, through the means of yoga, etc., he can maintain his body in that form for a very long period of time.
So the samadhis of Bade Baba, Chote Baba,
Yeah.
Sai Baba.
See, these samadhis were attained after these masters had left for their heavenly abode. There is no doubt about their samadhi, but Gyaneshwar Maharaj, Nivrittinath Maharaj, Supande Maharaj and many other saints, those who have attained Sanjeevani Samadhis, they have attained these samadhis at a predefined period of time with their own discretion and will.
So the samadhi which is attained by one's own will is actually called Sanjeevani Samadhi.
Sanjeevani Samadhi, absolutely. And even after this Samadhi is attained, one experiences Nityanand on a continuous basis.
What is the difference between Sanjeevani Samadhi and other types of Samadhi in terms of the technique or sadhana, Kaka?
The normal Samadhi happens when one leaves for one's heavenly abode, when one has risen above the body. After leaving this human body, the biggest advantage is that one is not any more restricted by the limitations of the physical body.
When majority of the saints leave for their heavenly abode, their samadhi is not made with the regular cremation rituals.
See, those who attain sannyas, they either get a Jal Samadhi or a Bhumi Samadhi. Whereas if a common man passes away, his body is cremated with the normal rituals and the ashes are collected, and that forms his Samadhi.
When the bodies of the saints are not offered to fire,
In that case, it will be either a Jal Samadhi or a Bhumi Samadhi.
so should we consider that we miss out on the fire element?
No, it is not like that, because they are a culmination of the 5 great elements, and that happens everywhere in its own unique way. But when fire is the medium, this process happens faster.
On the samadhi of Gyaneshwar Maharaj,
Yeah.
Kaka, there were some people who said that they felt a flow of electric current.
Where exactly?
On Gyaneshwar Maharaj
Yeah,
samadhi.
the reason for that is that the impulse of power is so great that a common man cannot bear it. That is why people experience this.
So Kaka, is the climax of Vairagya Mukti?
The climax of Vairagya is Mukti, as well as it is helpful in the attainment of knowledge. You may have strange experiences also. If you eat your meals at irregular intervals, the entire system of your body, the digestive system, gets disrupted. If the biochemical watch is disturbed, the entire function gets disturbed, which brings about undesirable consequences. For example, if you consume your lunch by 1 o'clock in the noon, your metabolism is quite proactive at that time. So whatever you eat is digested very quickly. On the other hand, when the metabolism is slow, you eat anything and it does not get digested properly, resulting in indigestion in your system.
Why do some saints attain Sanjeevani Samadhi, Kaka?
The saints decide their own area of work in their bodily form. Once they complete it, they attain Samadhi. But the quantity of work that they can complete while they are still in this physical body is nothing when compared to what they can attain once they have freed themselves from the restriction of the body. The work area is expanded many folds. In the physical body, even the saints are restricted. Due to the physical limitations, they cannot work at their will. But once they have left this body, then their scope as well as area of work increases a lot.